Hey guys, and welcome to part 3 of the Sonic Unleashed playthrough. We have finished off the first night stage and we're now flying over to the new continent of Spagonia on the Tornado, which is Tails' play. This is where we have the third gameplay style that's exclusive to the HD version of this game, where you fly the Tornado, but it's not what you think it is. It's not full analog control, it's QTE the game. All you have to do is just press the correct button that pops up and you'll be able to shoot down any enemy on the screen. But here's the thing, if you screw up the QTE, you're left vulnerable to enemy attack for a good few seconds. You know, this gameplay is only used twice in the entire game. The first stage is a bit easy because you need to get used to how it works. At least you have the music to give you a nice piece of music to keep you company. Not much to say here, just press the correct buttons to pop on the screen, and don't do what I just did there, lost your combo. Your combo will not disappear unless you screw up. If you continue to do it successfully, it will not disappear. Again, this music that's playing in the stage is really relaxing, and if you go into Spotify and then listen through headphones and then just relax and listen, it's really good music. There's actually a trophy you get in the Xbox 360, well, achievement slash trophy if you get in the HD versions, where if you get that specific ace, it's called Ace Pilot. To get that trophy, you just need to basically do the first stage of this tornado plane and not take any damage. That's what your bar on the green bar is on the bottom left. That is essentially your health. The energy is how many times you can shoot, but again, if you just press the corresponding button, you'll be absolutely fine. Some QTEs will be in sequence which allow you to do a special little twirl. Again, where does Eggman get all the money to build all these robots? Plus, I think it's at that point that we know that his 300 IQ is total bullshit. Yeah, this is dull. Thank God you only have to do this type of gameplay twice. And here we go, boss time.
What is that thing?
This is the Egg Cauldron. This is your only boss in these tornado levels. Or again, just like the enemies, you just gotta press the corresponding button at the time it pops up. And then when he opens his weak spot, it'll tell you to mash a certain button 5 times, and then that's all you need to do, and you do that to about 4 times. And yes, you are timed, but don't let that pressure you. If you know what you're doing and you just take your time with these QTEs and be ready to press the corresponding button when they pop up, you shouldn't have too much trouble. Like these bits right here, I usually wait until 2 pop up at once, so that I can quickly press the 2 corresponding buttons. Gotta love how also the laser colors that when they fire are the same colors on the corresponding button on the PlayStation controller as they would if you were playing this on the 360. All systems, full power! This bit can be a little bit tricky because again the smoke is covering the weak spot, so it can be tricky almost to not see the QTEs in time.
Energy levels dropping. What a disaster! Retreat!
Flee! Flee! Show your bravery by fleeing from battle, Robotnik. Now, because I fucked up, I'm not sure if that was an S rank. Oh, okay. I'll take that. It didn't feel like an S rank, but I'll take it. Okay then. Now we've reached Spagonia. This country, I believe, is a mixture of Italy and France. Like, you get a bit of a mixture of both when you look at the environment and the music itself. It's like a mixture between the two. So now we need to find Professor Pickle at the Spagonia University. And again, these people, they're not just generic townsfolk that you could talk to just for the sake of talking to. Each of them have their own little backstory. And I believe one of them is from a hub world which is inspiration is New York City. They call it Empire City. There's a woman called Brenda, and she's essentially a journalist for a local newspaper in that town. Essentially, she's Lois Lane. But these are completely optional, these town missions, where you can actually help out the people with, like, say, oh, I need a certain item, or can you answer these questions? Again, they're completely mandatory.
And a whole pack of robots. Professor Pickle off.
Whole bag of robots, man! It's also a fun fact here, that assistant, that is Professor Pickle's assistant. The voice actor for that guy, that just a random nobody, is the same voice actor who voices Sonic at this time, Jason Griffith. The one that everybody hated when he first started, but then everybody loved when Sega eventually didn't want to use him after that. After Black Knight, I believe. That was his last game.
I'm sure Eggman is feeding him.
At least with this game's story compared to 06, it does have its dark moments, but they tried to add some humor into this. Which I'll give it credit for that. Now that the professor's been kidnapped by Eggman, we need to go and talk to the townsfolk to find out where he's been taken to.
Sonic!
You know, that pad that Tails has got, that would be cool if Sega actually made that as an optional Wii U gamepad for Wii U owners. Right, let's go and talk to the townsfolk to see where the professor is. Who should I talk to first? Okay, let's see. Do you know where he is, Tails? Come on, you're smart. You're smart. You should be able to figure out what the professor is. No? Okay then. How about you, good sir? Well, you're no help. Let's see, who else could be somewhat helpful to find the professor? Boing, 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 boing. How about you, old man? You look like a good old friend of him. What, is that all you said? Really? Hey, didn't I just met you earlier? Franco? Was that your twin brother that was the assistant then? What about you, Hen? Do you know what the professor is? In Mazuri? Okay then. Learn something fishy in Mazuri. Alright then, let's head over to Mazuri. Mazuri is our next location, which essentially is this game's version of Africa. Well, the reason for that is because, well, in Japan, this game is called Sonic World Adventure. Which does make sense. I mean, you're traveling around the world to different countries, and, like, we've been to this game's equivalent to Mykonos. We're now going to Africa, and we're leaving a mixture of Italy and France. some people would say that they hate hub worlds, but to be honest, these ones are not too bad actually. I mean, they're small in size, they're not humongous like 06's was. Plus, they all have their unique themes, day and night, and different art styles as well that reflect on where they're based on. And not to, like I said before, the townsfolk actually have, some of them have interesting stories. Ah, now we must collect medals before entering stage. Target. So you're going to have to excuse the padding at the early stages of the game, because again, I just want to make sure I have the required amount of medals when I get to the end. Hi there. Oh great, you smelly too. Yeah, so some people you can actually talk to people like and ask them questions yourself. But you don't, well, you don't hear yourself speak, you just get to select what answer you would like to respond to the character. One major difference between this and the 360 version is a tiny little detail where when you go from one hub world to the next, it does the PS3's auto save thing before it has to go into the load screen. While the 360, it has a little circular green circle which essentially does it while it's loading the next stage. Which I think the 360 version is if you plan to get Unleashed, I mean it's up to you, but if you are interested in Sonic Unleashed, I'd say the best version to get is the 360 version. Like the PS3 version is fine, but it's a bit unstable at times. Especially when there's too much going on at once. Come on Sonic, grab it, there you go. A little tip for grabbing these poles: instead of mashing the circle button, what to do is, as a 100% guarantee you'll never miss it, when you're close to a ledge, just hold down the circle button, and the millisecond that reticle pops up, the Sonic will instantly grab it. So again, if you think you're a bit unsure of making a jump, just hold down the circle button and you will grab it, assuming you're right, as long as you're close to it for the arms to reach. We're now into Savannah Citadel, the African night stage. These flowers right here, all they do is shoot projectiles at you. They can be a little disorienting and annoying at times, especially when you don't know where they are, because the camera doesn't show you where every single one of them are. I mean, well, the camera has two different ways of controlling it. There'll be some moments where you can control it like a standard camera, but other times all you can do is shake it left and right like a shaky cam in certain sections of the night stages. This is me looking for more medals as I go along. Now keep in mind, I don't remember exactly where every single one of them are in the stages. I'll collect the ones I know that are in the place, but any I miss, I'll get them off screen. And again, not to increase padding time so that I don't waste your guys' time. Again, the only difference between these little Rexes here, the red and the greens, the red ones are just slightly tougher. That's all it is. Well, I don't know what their official names is, I just call them little Rexes because they're like little Rex dinosaurs. Now this stage is where they introduce this type of puzzle where in order to open the door you have to keep an item like this box on a switch. You know, typical, as soon as you move off the switch, the door will close. You know, the Werehog might not be everyone's cup of tea, but at least he has a large variety of combos in this version of the game. I mean, he does have combos, but the way they're executed, especially in the Wii version, it's like they really want you to use the Wiimote and Nunchuck, where you have to press, like, the Wii version controls, you have to move your arms left and right in like an actual fighting game in order for the Werehog to do. There is punches and kicks and all that. But when you, that's fine, but see when you use the GameCube controller or the classic controller, you have to press it like, you know, like A-B, A-B instead of A-A-A. It can be a little bit confusing. Not so much in this game, because again, the square button is your claw attacks, triangles, your punches. You can mix and match between like a standard hack and slash. Now what they introduce here also is level puzzles, where you have to spin the lever and to increase the height of a platform so you can climb even higher. This shortcut here is not mandatory. This is an extra shortcut to the switch you need to press. Those poles right there, they'll shake and then they'll collapse. That means that once they're gone, you will not be able to grab hold of them again. The ones that are dark red will crack and fall. The ones that are bright red will stay in place. Again, shortcuts, the more you know, folks. Trust me, I wish there was a way that I can somewhat change the music so I can listen to the nighttime stages while fighting these mooks, but again, someone at Sega decided that it would be a good idea to play the battle theme every single time you fight an enemy. Every single one of them. The only one that's okay is when you fight the mini-bosses, which have a different theme, but it's not as repetitive as this one is. Ow. Admittedly, grabbing an enemy when you shoryuken an enemy into the end and you pile them back down onto other enemies is somewhat satisfying. And again, you'll unlock more moves as you upgrade your werehog. Here's me abusing key to ease again. My tip for this particular stage is go after the flowers first. Just get them out of your way. Then you can deal with the robots. And again, if you're running low on health, make sure there's some rings nearby. That's kind of odd actually with the claw. Well, for the claws anyway, you would think the sound effect for the enemy getting hit would be like a slashing kind of sound, but no, it's like a punch sound effect even with the claws. I'm like, what? The next puzzle they introduce here is the buttons on the wall. What you need to do is you need to grab small enemies like the Rexes, for example, and throw them at the buttons to activate platforms, which will move up and down in a bit depending on the direction you wish to take. Because unlike the daytime stages, there's no multiple pathways to the goal. Your path is extremely linear, which means you only have one way to go. Which makes the werehog the night levels even more tedious as they already are. Like, the werehog wouldn't be that much of a big deal to me if the stages were not so goddamn long. Push this nice big box here so we can get higher up. A tip for the double jump as well, you can delay the double jump so you can get yourself a little bit more distance with the jump. Like, you don't have to instantly press the X button twice to instantly do it. You can delay it so you can get more distance for your jumps, depending if you want to go up to a platform or you just want to get to a higher place. Now, you can recover from those poles if they have grabbable ledges on them. Like, if you fall over, Sonic will instantly grab it and you can recover yourself. But later on, they'll add pipes where you cannot afford to fall at all. Well, to this stage's credit, this section right here has two different paths you can take. When you get to that particular tower that's just across the platform there, you can either take the bottom route, which is a bit longer, or you can take the higher route, which is a bit more riskier but faster. Plus it has more collectibles as well as a result. There's a VHS tape, which essentially is your cutscenes. Yeah, those are the games. Those things are called. I think they're called spinners. There's 3 variations of those enemies. There's the blue ones which do nothing but fly. There's the red ones which shoot projectiles at you. And then there's the turquoise ones which have electric currents, and then you can get shocked from them. Well, as you saw as I got electrocuted there, it doesn't drop you like a rock. You still fall slowly, so you do have a small bit of recovery time. Yeah, I'm sure that music is getting annoying for you as much as it is for me. The Werehog is very limited at the beginning, but once you unlock all the new moves, it can be a bit more satisfying and faster to defeat a group of enemies. Like, one of my favorite moves to use as the Werehog is when you do 4 attacks with his claws, and then you instantly mash the... After about 4 square attacks, you mash the circle button, and then what you'll do is you'll pump his fists to the ground, making like an earthquake kind of thing, and then end it with a big loud bang that sends every enemy that's not guarding into the air. Ah, good, he clipped through I sent an enemy through a wall. Too bad I won't be able to get the XP he dropped. But that's the thing. The purple cores which are used for your unleashed bar, they'll instantly go to you. But the XP, they don't instantly go towards you. They just land on wherever it decides to. So like if you like I said, what you saw before, if the enemy ends up clipping through a wall on you, and too bad, you're not gonna get the XP. Now for this puzzle, you need to put 1 block on the platform, then move it to the next, and then make that platform a little bit higher, so you can get up to that top ledge. It's too high for the standard jump height. So we'll just push that over to the next platform, then make that a little bit taller. That should be high enough. Not quite. Oh, here's me trying to do a little trick with the Shoryuken, but it didn't work. Great, now I've got a projectile enemy who's spotted me, and he will not stop firing projectiles at me. Andrew's in a pickle. There we go. Like, you can, if your jump is a little bit too high, you can move the analog stick in conjunction and it should push you up. Just a little bit. Here's our last round of robots. Again, the amount of combos you can do with the Werehog is somewhat, you know, unique in a way. Like, you can range from square, square, triangle, triangle to triangle, triangle, square, square. Again, if you've played games like God of War or Devil May Cry, you'll know what to do. Because I believe it was all that type of gameplay was all the rage back in that time in 2008. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's when Devil May Cry 4 was out, and everybody was talking about that, so Sega probably wanted to capitalize on that particular feature. Hence why they created the Werehog. Come on, robots, die already! There we go. End of the level. Let's see how long it took me for that. Nearly 11 minutes, but still an S rank. Oh yeah. Here's all your collectibles, and this is where you, again, upgrade yourself. And with that, I'll see you in the next part, folks.